This message comes straight from my heart. With this video, I'll remind you of your true potential. I will mention the Bushido code and metaphors with arc raiders to remind you how detachment works and how it can heal you when you face hardship. When you're in the middle of an emotional storm, it is hard to let go. It is hard to face the truth. It is hard to see that even this storm that you're in right now will pass. It is a gentle reminder that you're okay the way you are, no matter what you own or don't own. In the end, it is about letting go. So instead of owning things doesn't ultimately own you. Let me remind you that ultimately you're free. Free to grow with every detachment that you're able to do in arc raiders and in real life. I will share with you 3 heartfelt steps that will remind you how you can detach, so in the end you will not be hurt but instead set free from suffering. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is a choice. Make sure to go through all the steps until the end so you can choose freedom over desperation and fear. This choice won't be easy, as I think these are advanced mental, spiritual, and self-embodiment practices. But don't forget how far you came until now. Let me remind you of your true, powerful nature. Step number 1. Be aware of your attachments. To win any battle, you must fight as if you are already dead. Miyamoto Musashi. Have you ever noticed how you're afraid to go in with a certain weapon in arc raiders? How you're afraid to lose it? Instead of finding out how to handle this powerful weapon, in the end it just collects dust as you go in with low-risk weapons that are easier to craft. I know I have. Some weapons were so rare I couldn't dare to bring it with me, until I realized that I don't really know how that weapon works. It is nothing to be ashamed about. It is actually a perfect opportunity to reflect on what I was fearing the most. There are many things that come to my mind when I think about that fear. I fear to lose something valuable. I fear I might never get something as valuable as this weapon. I might lose it to a raider who don't deserve it because I deem them as unworthy. I fear that I'm not good enough in combat, that I lose a fight I should 100% win. These thoughts are not weaknesses. These thoughts are my ego talking. These are natural ways to deal with fear. These may seem something that will only happen in arc raiders, but if you look closely, there will be parallels in real life. What are the things that you're most afraid of in real life? What activities are actually keeping you from growth? What activities preventing you from facing your deep-rooted fear? Being aware of those resistances that births from a place of ego is the very first baby step to be able to detach. You cannot create tangible distance when you don't know what you are distancing from. It's like trying to avoid bodies of water because you're afraid to drown while you are actively drowning in one yourself. Find a quiet place for yourself. Take deep breaths and scan your being about the things you're actively afraid to lose. Make notes about these fears and acknowledge them with pure understanding and presence. Trying to change the fear in this step will only make the fear even worse. Try to see them as a good friend who's actively trying to prevent you from being hurt. Welcome them wholeheartedly, like you would welcome a good old tired best friend. Only then your fears will be able to find a place where they can call home. Step number 2. Hear your attachments out. Never let yourself be saddened by a separation. Miyamoto Musashi. Fear of losing something is in our very nature. We find something valuable throughout our lives and we are bound to make sure these things are secure, just like in arc raiders, but also in real life. It is in our nature to protect things that matter to us a lot. Sometimes we feel like everything is alright, but you might not realize that you're dwelling only on the surface. You've become so much accustomed to the normal madness and don't realize how much of a burden your body is used to carry. Many people I know fear silence the most. They keep themselves busy, not for growth's sake, but for being busy's sake. In the end, they're busy so they don't have to face their own inner demons. It's like trying to tidy up a messy house, thinking about how you could redecorate the interior of the house while the house is actively on fire. The reasonable first step would be to extinguish the fire first, but many people don't want to go through that route because it may cause discomfort, unsafety, or even pain. This is how much some people avoid pain. sometimes even over decades. Let me tell you about a story of a professor who held a glass of water in front of the students and asked, "How heavy is this glass? Water included." The students replied one by one, 200 gram, 300 gram, and so on. The professor then said, "Probably somebody is right about the weight, but I wanted to tell you something different, and this is also true. The weight of this glass depends on how long you hold it. The longer you hold, the more it weighs. Because muscles without rest can only hold so much as they are capable of. This is the same with emotions. Emotions need to flow. When they're stuck because we hold them in, it can cause to make you feel heavy and not free. In the end, it can even lead you to sickness if you don't learn how to let go, because that's the sign how your body tells you that they're at their limit. So listen to your resistances, fears, and tensions. They are ready to tell you something in order for you to be able to grow. Grow into a version of you that is more free and capable of things you always dreamed about. But in order for you to be that version, you need to be ready to separate yourself from an older version of you. That means it is bound by leaving the comfort zone and maybe even feel and go through pain. Never let yourself be saddened by separation. Separation itself is the process of growth. It may feel like death, but the moment everything crumbles and the shattered mirror of your image all fell down to the floor, you may think that everything is broken now. But you will realize that the pieces of mirror of yourself you held up so dearly didn't fall to the ground. Instead, it all fell into the place where they actually belong, because behind that mirror lies another version of you that is one step closer to your true self. Listen to all of the resistances so you can find out who you truly are, your true nature of being. Before we get to the most important final step, I wanted to invite you to our Discord server where you can meet and talk about Bushido code and philosophy with great like-minded people. We cultivate a very fun, caring, and beautiful community that are very supportive of each other. It is a small community right now, but nothing is in the way to make it grow together. The link is in the description down below. If you have any questions about mindfulness, your questions are definitely very welcome there. Now for the important last step. Step number 3, final step, detach. Be detached from desire your whole life long. Miyamoto Musashi. This final step and the words I'm sharing with you is dedicated only for you. I know you have struggled in the past days, weeks, or even months, but your true being is stronger than anything life is throwing at you. Feel the things that life is throwing at you, but know that you are made out of the very fabric of life itself. You are the very definition of life. The moment you detach and let go of the fear of death, you become whole. But also know that death is the ultimate lesson. In Arc Raiders, you can rehearse this again and again, but in real life, you only got one shot, because every ego wants to naturally prevent death. Knowledge is knowing that pain, suffering, and death exists. Wisdom is when you know the only way to become your true self is to accept death wholly. Once you accept death into your daily life, you will see that detaching from pain and fear becomes different. It becomes relative to death. I'm not saying it's gonna be easier, but it will be a different experience. Do not let your fears dictate how to live your life. Live your life exactly how your own death is telling you. It is not about choosing death when you have the chance, but rather knowing that accepting death will give you the ultimate space to live a life with less or even without fear of judgment, failure, or death. Let me remind you that you are not the fear inside you. You are water that flows through a stream of intelligent universal fabric, a flow that awaits lots of unimaginable surprise for you. You can either flow through the stream, tense like a log, or relax, let go of your tensions and fear, enjoy the stream, and trust that everything is already worked out for you. I know that the trusting process is a hard one. I do struggle with it a lot myself, but this is a gentle reminder that we deserve all the good things that are awaiting us right here, right now. Remember, by detaching, you make space for the beautiful things that the Bushido Code values the most, in Arc Raiders and in real life respectfully. Honor. Honor yourself, your enemies, your resistances, your fears, your inner true wisdom that will lead you to a version of yourself that you already are. It is not about adding layers of knowledge, it is about peeling layers away so what stays and lives is your true core. Loyalty. Be loyal to the person who supports you the most. Be loyal to the people who sees through your inner defense mechanism. Be loyal to your true self that lingers deep within you and waits patiently for it to bloom. Benevolence, compassion, and mercy is the key to a life that is based on love and understanding. Understand death, and you will find a way of life that is fiercely pro-life. Respect. Respect yourself foremost, and don't let your enemies drag you down into their disrespectful behavior. Cultivate respect even in the depth of despair, and you will learn that you are a pillar of respect between heaven and earth. Rectitude. Do the right thing that you deem worthwhile to live for. Being a pillar between heaven and earth also means no hesitation in acting swiftly for what you deem as right. Courage. To stand your ground, you need to practice strength to act rightly. Courage is not only about having the courage to go outward and forward, sometimes it also means the courage to step back and go inward. And finally, honesty. Be honest to the parts of yourself that are maybe deemed unworthy of love. Shame, weakness, sadness, anger, fear, dishonesty are all feelings that desperately want to be part of yourself. Be honest and let them be exactly what they are. Let them feel what they are, and then gently detach and give them space so they can finally be home within you. To end this part, a final anecdote about a vision and a talk I had with my private death. I felt like I was in a space where I couldn't fall further down. Later, I realized I didn't fall down. I fell exactly to the place where I belong to. In front of me stood my own death, a person. Ironically, the very definition and appearance of death. A black hooded shrouded skeleton with a huge scythe. I asked him with hesitation, "I'm lost in life. What should I do?" He then said to me gently, "Go back and live your life as you deem right. Until the moment comes, you can trust me that I will wait for you and I will gently pick you up like a good friend." Please like this video if you got any values out of it, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any videos, and be the first to support me on Patreon so you get your names honored forever in the end of my videos. See you in the next one.